Z100, New York's #1 hit music station. I'm Josh Martinez, part of the Superstar Crossover podcast with my guest, New Yorican from the Boogie Down, a dude whose career I've been following for a long-ass time. Mike Santana, what's good, man?
Yo, chilling. How you doing?
Chilling, man. You know, it's. I feel like this was a long time coming. There's a lot of. I mean, my first headshot in Z100 New York City, I wore a Proud and Powerful T-shirt.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
Because I was very much like, these are the dudes right here that I mean, growing up, what was that like? Like, you know, I can speak from my own experiences. No one gives a shit about me. For you, growing up, being a wrestling fan, being a Boricua, wasn't a lot of representation on TV, on Superstars on Fox 5 Saturday mornings.
Nah, not at all. Actually, I mean, the only one we really had was Savio Vega, right?
And he became a jobber real quick.
Real quick, yeah. I mean, But yeah, it was, you know, again, it wasn't a lot of representation, and it wasn't, we didn't, just in general, right? Watching TV, we didn't see a lot of people that looked like us that played major roles, right? So that was something that, I grew up very immersed in my Boricua culture. You know,
Same.
My grandparents were very instrumental in making sure that they took me to the island, you know, when I was like 3-4 years old. And I would go every year, and every year it was a history lesson. You know what I mean? So they were very instrumental in that. And same thing at home. My mom, classic salsa, classic freestyle, you know, like just fully immersed in the culture, you know. And but yeah, and growing up a wrestling fan, I've been into wrestling since I was 4 years old. My grandparents introduced me to it. And so they had a bunch of VHS tapes that were for my uncle and my dad when they were younger. So I grew up watching all the 80s stuff. And then the very first wrestling event that I remember watching was Wrestlemania 7. And I saw the Hart Foundation, and it was a wrap after that. I saw Brett and come out with the shades and the pink and black, and I was like, yeah, it's
So
over.
with your gear through the years, you've shown love to Brett. He's your favorite wrestler.
Yep.
What do you know what it was about him that just captivated you, that kept you a fan of his decades now?
Authenticity. Brett, if you look at my career, it's sort of like, if anything, it's a direct like mirror of Brett, right? Bret Hart was, when you saw him and what he portrayed on screen, was who he was, right? He talked about his family, he talked about where he came from, he talked about his morals, and wanting to be the very best, right? So like that was something that always stood out to me growing up. We from the hood, bro. We didn't see a lot of superheroes, right?
That's a fact.
So I was never attracted to the Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior or any of the crazy, like, you know, colors and all
Over the
that.
top comic book characters.
Yeah. So for me, Brett was like, oh, this is a real dude. Like I could see him on the block. You know what I mean? And that was something that stood out to me. And also he wasn't a huge dude, right? So I was like, man, I could be just like that guy. And again, his authenticity, and that was something that really stood out to me.
When it comes to authenticity, and you start training, and you're making the trip to Staten Island, and you're going to a warehouse down in the South Shore of Staten Island, taking multiple buses probably, and Magic is showing you some things or whatever. So when it comes to that part of your life, were you thinking of kind of a gimmick? Or were you just like, let me just hone this down, get the in-ring stuff, and then that character building will come later?
Yeah, it was mainly about getting down the wrestling aspect. Yeah, I grew up doing backyard wrestling, right?
Same. Everybody.
Yeah, so
Every millennial dude did at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out. I used to wrestle with a group from Harlem called 2KW, and we used to wrestle behind Manhattan Center on 116th. Yeah. So, but yeah, like when I started training, it was mainly about like getting it down. I wasn't thinking about I honestly, like, going into it, I was like, I want to represent myself and be who I am. You know what I mean? I showed a picture of my very first headshot, and I have a Puerto Rican flag, and I have, you know, so that's something that's always been carried with me since the beginning.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was mainly about just honing down the craft and training hard. And Magic, such a great dude. Like, give him a shout out, a huge shout out, because I met Magic while I was still in high school. I was going to Port Richmond High School at the time, and I met a dude there, and I saw he had wrestling gear in his bag, and I was like, "Yo, what's going on here?" So he told me. He ended up taking me to Arthur Kill Road to the warehouse. And I met Magic, and we spoke, and I was still in school, and he was like, hey, before I train you or take any of your money, I want you to finish school. I want you to get your diploma. You bring me your diploma, it's a wrap.
Love that.
And he was like one of the first dudes that like showed that they cared about me and about my education and about having something. And because he could have easily been like, yeah, I'll take your money. I could, you know.
Like most training school stories that we heard through the years, yeah.
But it wasn't like that at all, and he was genuine. And yeah, I got my diploma. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't go to prom. Nothing. I got my paper. Next day, here you go, sir. And the rest is history.
So being in that training process, right? Yeah. Did it ever cross your mind, like, what were your goals? What were your goals, really?
Honestly, at that time, I didn't, out of high school, I didn't really have a sense of, like, direction. So I looked at the wrestling thing as, like, okay, this is something I can do. This is something I've always been passionate about and I'm interested in. That's why I decided not to go to college. I told myself, if I start this wrestling thing and go to college ain't happening. Like, I'll be straight up.
I went to college, College of Staten Island. Midway through my third semester, I dropped out. So I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, so I didn't want to waste the time or the money, you know? So I was like, let me give this wrestling thing a go and see where it takes me, you know? So wrestling was always my escape in my life. It was always something that I ran to during hard times, during good times, during any time. And so I ran so much from things that I made my escape my career. And that's what I say, you know. And
by the way, I'm only smiling because like I'm the same way.
Yeah.
There are so many listening to interviews with you through the years. There are so many parallels between you and I, and this interview's not about me, but I think it's the bigger picture. Like, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here with the exact same story, but because no one's talking about it, no one's talking about the escape being, luckily for us, entertainment, sports entertainment, right? I ended up in radio on the music side, but I really wanted to be on the sports side. But I got an internship and I just ran with it or whatever. You looked at wrestling as an escape. A lot of people look to narcotics, unfortunately. But a lot of people look at other forms of sports. And there are so many people that have the parallel, and we're like, people don't vocalize it enough. I've been a huge proponent of like mental health and talking about it.
Same.
And the whole aspect of like, yo, man up, dog. Like, that shit is so passe.
Yeah.
It didn't work for Abuelo. It didn't work for Papi. It ain't working for... So let's switch it up. You're very open about your struggles and your demons in the past and going to rehab and such. What made you want to be vocal about it in public?
Because in rehab, we're taught that the way that the thing that helps us stay sober and the thing that helps us stay on that path is by giving away the gift that was so freely given to us. And with that is, if there's any way that I could share my story and share what I went through and share the things that helped me, and that in return helps someone else, that helping someone else is what's helping me as well. And also with, you know, going back to my dad is, you know, was such a huge part of my life and still is, even though he's gone. He struggled so much with that vocalizing thing, right? And I saw him drown himself in addiction because he didn't know how to vocalize. And like you said, it didn't work for the past generation. It didn't work. So I saw that firsthand. And I wish, me going through the process that I went through and experiencing that, I wish that my father would have got to experience that, because it would have helped him so much, you know. And like, even while I was in rehab, there would be days that I'm like, man, my dad would have loved this. Like, he needed this. But you know, different generations, and the thing with my dad is that he never wanted to be a burden on anyone, and so he just dealt with things on his own. Unfortunately, that was part of his, you know, passing. But yeah, like, I think it's very important for us to vocalize and speak up about these things, especially in this day and age. You know, so many people struggle in silence, and it does nothing for you, bro. Like, I'm a firm believer in stress and depression. That shit'll kill you real quick.
Dog, I've been depressed for months now. You know what I'm saying? That's just me being real. And it's just one of those things that you have those pockets of happiness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Whether it's like kicking it with the boys and y'all just watching a game, or the Yankees winning and you're at the stadium and it's cool. For me, a lot of my happiness it was within my daughter, and my daughter lives in Ohio.
Okay.
So that's tough for me. I go out there every couple weekends. I'm going to Florida tomorrow, Saturday. So I'm going to miss TNA's pay-per-view event, which I'm really tight about. I ain't gonna front. Dog, I don't even want to talk about it. But so that's my happiness, you know. And therapy recently, I was like, yo, like I feel like I put too much of that responsibility of happiness on her, and I'm afraid that it becomes basically like this habit.
Yes.
So I'm habitually living like through her, and that's not healthy either.
No, it's not.
So you travel a lot for work.
Yep.
You still live in the area. Your
Yep.
daughter still lives in the area, so you see her often. How do you kind of navigate not seeing her because you know you're just on the road working a lot?
I FaceTime is a great thing.
Goddamn right. Did it at 8:12 this morning.
Yeah, FaceTime is a great thing, and also her, like, she's been a part of this thing all her life, right? Like, she's experienced this whole wrestling thing all her life. I've been wrestling since 2008. She was born in 2014.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, you know, so now being at the age she's at, she's 11 years old, like, now she really gets it. And, you know, I do my best to make her a part of it as much as possible so that she understands it. And she loves it, you know, and she loves that I'm this, you know, superhero, and I'm this person that, you know, and but one thing, like, that I've learned within the past couple years is that balance of being Mike Santana and being Papi. And I'm thankful, and it took a long time, you know, because this business is it's a selfish business, and it demands so much from you. And there's times that, and I see it with a lot of people, that you get lost in it. You know, you allow it to get to your head. You allow yourself to be too entrenched in it, and that's not healthy either. You know, sometimes you got to take a step back and, like, realize that there's more to you than just that. And that's me. Yes, this is my life. Professional wrestling is my life, and I've dedicated everything to it. But also, I know how to be Mark Sanchez. I know how to be Papi. And that's the biggest blessing that I could ask for, you know.
So when it comes to, you know, you mentioned kind of the balancing act of it all. Does she have a favorite wrestler aside from you? Or is she just kind of just into wrestling because of you, and that's kind of it for now?
Oh no, she loves Cody, because she got to meet Cody a few times and hang out with him and stuff. She loves Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. She got Darby Allin. She loves Darby. My God, she hates MJF.
Okay.
Because one of the first shows that she went to when I was there, he did a run-in and hit me with a chair, and that was over. Like, we came to the back, and she was, like, giving him all kinds of hell, and it was awesome. But yeah, like, she's really in it. So
how important, and I'm going to use the term inner circle. This has nothing to do with AEW. Yeah. So how important is your inner circle in your personal life to keep you kind of balanced? Because, dude, one day you're on, to us, it was called Warner Brothers, WB. Now it's Pix 11. The next day you're on TNA's TV. The next day there's social media videos of you. How do you stay balanced? Like, how important are those people in your inner circle to keep you, like, even keel so it doesn't get to your head?
Family is everything. And I have a very, very tight knit family. So they still see me as me, right? And a big part of that too, I still live in the BX, right? I'm still, like, I'm fully immersed in it. I'm in the city, you know, and I think that's been a big part of me staying grounded and keeping 10 toes down. Also with my family, they don't treat me like that person, you know, because I'm not. Like, when I'm away, I'm me, you know, and I love that. Like, you know, we'll talk about it here and there, but overall, like, family get-togethers or whatever, none of that exists, you know, which I love. And same thing in my home, I have no wrestling anything. I have no wrestling pictures. I have no wrestling posters. And it's always been that way my entire career. I have no wrestling anything. So when I'm home, I'm home. That's the clear separation.
Now, what made you want to take that approach? Because my boss, who's like across in the hall, he does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And like as program directors, as people in radio, we get platinum plaques and supporting songs.
Yeah.
So I have my salas just loaded up with platinum
that's
plaques.
awesome. That's awesome.
but that juxtaposition of like, you know, I'm putting up trophies because I'm like proud of it.
Of
But the
course.
juxtaposition of like, and he said it before too, kind of like, yo, I just don't want to think of that in my. This is the most intimate space
This
of
is
my life.
safe place. Yes, this is my safe place, and also, at the end of the day, it's a job.
True. But we're lucky enough to get to do this.
Yes, absolutely.
To get
We're
to do it, yep.
blessed, right? And for me, I live it every day. I have it up here, right? I'm not the type of person that I need to see it constantly.
Got it.
I have it in here. I have it up here, and again, that's my safe place. I like it to just be comfortable and keep, you know, like, I don't know, it's weird, and it's always been that way. Like it, and again, it allows me to have that clear separation when I walk home into my home, and I'm good. I'm Poppy, you know, and that's it.
What was your favorite match of all time? As a fan.
Damn, you put me on the spot.
Goddamn right. And let's preface this by saying it changes over time because,
of course.
for me, I had my one, right? I have an Ultimate Warrior tattoo.
Yeah.
So for me, it was WrestleMania 6. That match changed my life.
Yeah.
We would go to the video store and get the WrestleMania 6 VHS because Poppy was getting high, and what distracts me? Bam, that. So I just have it on loop.
There you go.
And then as you get older and I meet wrestlers and become cool with them, and I kind of learn a little bit of the psychology of wrestling. It's like, oh, well, this match is actually like the greatest match ever.
Yeah.
So you being in it, you as a fan, you know, 17 years now being in it, what is your match that you're like, that's the one that I bang with? Man,
so growing up, so I started going to live wrestling at the Garden during the road to WrestleMania 12.
Okay.
So Brett and Sean were
practicing.
Yeah.
Did they have a match together?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So my very first event that I went to, that my dad took me to, the main event was it was Brett and Undertaker versus Diesel and Sean.
Yeah, Diablo.
But because they were both feuding with each other, right?
Yep.
So that match, which crazy, I don't know if you've seen the WWE Vault like thing on YouTube. So there's a page called WWE Vault.
Well, I know the page. They have that match up.
They just uploaded it.
Oh shit! Okay.
And it got me so emotional, bro, because it brought me back. And so Diesel and Taker, they brawl to the back, and Brett and Sean go like what feels like forever in a one-on-one, right? So seeing that, and then seeing WrestleMania, right? Like, so that was a huge match for me. And then as I got older and got into, you know, the business and all that stuff, like, man, there's a lot, but like Kurt and Sean.
WrestleMania 21.
Yeah, bro. Like, that's such a insane match, right? Any match with and I'm gonna bring it up, Benoit and Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, those matches, just the intensity was unmatched.
Benoit Jericho had some bangers too.
Yeah. Like,
there was a
Jericho,
ladder match off the top of my head in Royal Rumble with the walls of Jericho on top of the ladder.
Yeah, bro. So like, that's another thing. Jericho had mad bangers with all those guys, you know. But like that era, like I feel like was the work rate era. You know, everybody was just trying to have bangers and put out the very best. But that WrestleMania 12 and yeah, that's the one that could really come to mind.
So this Sunday night, TNA,
Yeah.
the biggest show ever for the company. You're headlining Triple
Yeah.
Threat, TNA World Championship match. Joe Hendry's part of it. Trick Williams is the champ coming into it, but he's from NXT.
Yeah.
When you look at the heavyweight champion, you look at it and go, that's the guy. When you think of, in this case, TNA right now, it's Trick Williams.
Yeah.
If you happen to win Sunday, boom, it's Mike Santana.
Yeah.
What makes you ready to be the guy?
Everything that I've been through in my life, everything I've been through the past couple years to get to this point has built such a drive and a fire in me that I will not accept failure. I will not accept anything less than great. And where I'm at in my life personally is like, I told myself when I decided to take this bet on myself and really give everything, I'm not coming to be anything less than be at the top. Like, and that was just straight up real honesty. And I feel like I have something that not a lot of people have, and that is authenticity and a connection with the fans that I feel like they see a bit of themselves in me, right? I'm someone who got it out the mud. I'm someone that built myself from the bottom. And by all means, no shade on Joe, no shade on Trick. You know, those dudes have busted their ass too. You know, they've put in the work. They've dedicated themselves. If not, they wouldn't be in the positions that they're in, right? But I just, like, and this is just me saying it, like, you can't compare their fire and my fire. Like, there's just something, like in here, bro, that they don't have.
It's interesting because being 36 years old, loving wrestling the way I have all my life, basically, there's very few wrestlers that get me excited, and you're one of them. And I think it comes back to rewinding to what you just said a few seconds ago about the relation and stuff like that. Because like I said before in the beginning of the interview, like, my dad's favorite wrestler growing up was like Razor Ramon. Yeah. Because it got to the point where it was like, he ain't one of us, but damn it, he's close enough. He did a good job. The win. Bro, Los Boricuas, we were like hyped. Super Astros on Telemundo, Univision, whatever it was, for like 2 months. Like, I remember being excited about that stuff. And then to see you as a loudmouth Boricua from the Bronx, it's refreshing because it feels like that's who you are, right? Like, absolutely. But that's the point of your character, which is dope. So I try to make it a point to give flowers in all my interviews, and I just kind of wanted to give you your flowers a little bit. But before we even started, I asked you about a specific neighborhood, West Brighton, on Staten Island, and you kind of stared at me, and I was like, "Oh, he don't know what I'm talking about," but. You were like, how do you?
Yeah, I didn't know, but I know, right?
So you have ties to West Brighton on Staten Island, right? What years were you there, ish?
I moved to Staten Island, so I lived in Port Richmond first, and that was 2005, 6.
Okay,
and I was one of the first residents in Markham Gardens when they opened.
So that would be September 2009, summer 2009.
Yeah.
The only reason why I know that is because I lived in the Markham homes, and we moved in September 1st, 2009.
Wow.
I lived on North Burger Avenue.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where you lived. You don't have to say it. It's not a big deal. We could talk about it off air. But I heard, like I said, I've heard about you for years.
Yeah.
Even before, like, the LAX stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was all positive. It was all positive stuff. And it's fascinating because it's like, no one tries to rep Staten Island ever. Yeah. I had my time doing that too, but I just recently moved back, and I'm like, you know what? Someone's got to put Staten Island on the map a little bit. Like, I'll try to be that guy.
They can't just have Wu-Tang, right?
Exactly. And let's keep it real. It is more hood than the Jersey Shore cast members that popped up.
100%.
Like,
100%.
You should have went to Wagner High School instead of Port, but we can talk about that off air.
Well, I went to my zone school, bro.
So we got a couple more minutes before we got to wrap things up. I like to have fun. I'm going to do a quick this or that New York City edition. Bus or train?
Train.
Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
How crazy was it to be invited to Yankee Stadium, bro?
That was insane to me. Like, as soon as I walked up those steps to go onto the field, like, I felt something, like, within me that I probably never felt before. It was wild. Like, that was the initial, like, oh, this is really sacred ground. This is really for real what they say. Yeah.
And it's wild because you go up these you're in a tiny tunnel, you go up these steps, and then the green, I just remember my first time.
Yeah.
The green of the grass, for some reason, it felt like life was in HD.
It's so, everything. Like, you look up, right? And then it's just the sheer magnitude of, like, that place. It's insane.
Giants or Jets?
Giants.
Rangers or Devils?
Rangers.
Rangers or Islanders?
Rangers.
There you go. It's okay, UBS Arena. It's fine. Knicks or Nets?
Knicks.
Bagels or rolls?
Rolls.
Really? Okay.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, bro. I can't do it on a bagel because it drips out the center part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter or Mariano Rivera?
Ooh, Rivera.
Hector Lavoe or Mark Anthony?
Hector Lavoe all day.
Daddy Yankee or Bad Bunny?
Daddy Yankee.
That's the millennial response.
Come
Because
on.
we ask people a couple years younger, they're like, "Oh, Bad
Bro,
Bunny, dog."
I've been listening to Daddy Yankee since DJ Playero days.
The mixtapes of $5.
Because my dad lived in Puerto Rico for like a year or two, and I remember when he came back, he brought these mixtapes and he would play them, and I'm like, "This is Spanish reggae? What is this?" And he's like, "My son, come here." And that was the first time I heard of like Daddy Yankee, of Mexicano 777, like all these dudes, and I was like, "Yo, they're badass." Yeah.
You're also a badass. This Sunday, you could be the guy. TNA, UBS Arena. You just added tickets.
Yeah.
So the biggest show in TNA history,
Yep.
gonna be bigger.
It's gonna be
This
insane.
Sunday night, UBS Arena. Good luck, bro.
I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate you always supporting, showing mad love always. And yeah, man, like, let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep repping our people. Let's keep putting on for our culture. There's not a lot of us left, and we're doing it the right way. So, the positive way, where like our lives, coming from where we come from, could have went a totally different direction, but we chose to do this and give back. So I appreciate it.
We get to do this.
Yeah.